Well, I'll have to. You send me a link to your stream so I can pop the chat out. Just.
Oh yeah, sure. I actually stream on both Twitch and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
At the same time.
How many viewers do you usually get?
Around 100 combined at the same time.
Oh, cool.
Not a crazy amount, but a decent.
They buffed the mobility on the Type 94 truck because I feel like I'm actually moving.
They very well might have. I think they did something this last patch to make wheeled vehicles a little bit less horrible to drive.
Oh, that must be what it is, because this is driving way better than I remember.
Right. They don't swerve left and right as much as they used to.
Okay.
Alright, so here is my Twitch stream, and then let me pull up my YouTube.
Oh no, I'm getting strafed by a plane.
Rip.
Oh, I'm dead. That was really
anticlimactic.
Yeah, I just died immediately.
Womp womp womp.
Back to hangar I go. One thing I do like about War Thunder is that if you do terribly, it's over quickly.
Yes. It's not like World of Warships where they make you suffer for 5 minutes. It's like, oh, well, I'm driving a battleship and this destroyer just decided that he takes exception to me being there. So, well, guess I'll die slowly now. Oh, he's sitting in a smoke screen? Well, not much I can do about that shit. Just, that's the most annoying part about World of Warships, the fact that HE shells continuously to your superstructure just delete you.
Yeah. Oh, you can pop out chat on YouTube, too.
Yes, you can. Hello, everybody in the stream. Today we got a special guest. We've got if any of you guys watch Military History Visualized, if you don't, then shame on you. Go watch him. We have Justin who does quite a bit for Bernard. Seriously, like, what do you not do? Like editing.
Well, yeah, he like on a lot of videos he probably does 85% of the work, really. Like,
oh sure,
probably pushing 90, over 90.
Sure.
Most of the time when I'm helping, it's like maybe grabbing a few or suggesting a few sources for him or reading a script over.
Right.
I think the most work I've done on a single video was when he couldn't get the books and stuff, and I knew there was some stuff he really needed, so I think I did about 30-40 minutes of research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what video that was.
So you did a lot of proofreading.
Yeah, I've done a lot of proofreading and stuff, like just like seeing if his arguments are making sense.
Okay, and what credentials do you have that make you qualified to do this job?
Well, I have a Master of Arts in History, specifically in military, or, well, I guess probably intelligence history is most accurate.
Sure.
That was the exact topic of my master's thesis.
Okay.
Military stuff tacked on there as well, but...
Well, we're all nerds here, so what specifically?
My thesis was specifically on American intelligence assessments of Japanese air and naval power from 1920 through to 1941.
Well, I could definitely say I haven't written anything that substantial, so...
Yeah, that's whenever people ask me, like, even like when I was doing some job interviews back, and they'd like ask me what my thesis was on, and like when I'd have to explain, like just give them that one sentence, like their eyes were just like, what?
You're one of those people. Okay. Yeah, I've gotten that a couple times. Not for writing a thesis, but
yeah, just that's an occupational hazard with what we study. So.
Exactly. It's like oh, you study it. Like it's interesting when I try to explain to people what I do on YouTube. It's like it's like, oh, so you're a gamer. It's like, yeah, that's the short of it. Like, well, what specifically? Well, I study the development history of U.S. Armored Forces from World War II to to the early Cold War and late Cold War era.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And usually conversations end right there.
Yes. I was like, and believe me, unless you have a serious interest in the subject, you shouldn't press me for more. I'm about to drop some knowledge on your ass. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
My mother doesn't even quite understand it fully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got, my mom actually wanted me to get her a copy of the thesis, but she hasn't even cracked it yet. It's still got a bunch of dust all over it now. Yeah.
I think she just wants it there to show it off to friends if they come over or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, look what my son did. It's kind of like the adult version of my son drew a pretty picture.
Yeah.
I mean, I got invited to Gamescom in Cologne, Germany, by the guys who make War Thunder, and when I explained this to my mother, they're like, "They what?" Yes, mother, I'm going to Germany for a gaming convention. Bye. Drop some knowledge on us. I'm sure Justin will definitely do that as we play.
Yeah, I spent the afternoon because I needed to. I've recently got a new rig, so I've been slowly reinstalling. Because we have quite aggressive bandwidth caps, so I've been very slowly kind of re-downloading games.
I see.
So I spent the afternoon re-downloading Company of Heroes 2. I haven't gotten to play it again. I'll probably do that during the week at some point.
Company of
I
Heroes
was
2
reading
is...
most of the afternoon.
Company of Heroes 2 is good, but I don't know. I can't. I like Men of War Assault Squad better.
Oh yeah, see I don't mind Assault Squad 2 actually.
Yeah, the first one was kind of.
Yeah, I think the Assault Squad 2, what makes me like it so much is that there was a lot more.
There's a lot more depth to it, I feel.
Yeah, and like ability to comp stomp and stuff like that, which is my favorite thing to do in those kinds of games. Is like, and it wasn't really there in Men of War 1, of course. So.
Right, which is the. I mean, they haven't. My biggest issue with comp stomping Men of War Assault Squad 2 is they still haven't really fixed the AI.
Yeah, it's kind of spammy.
Yeah, they just throw a lot of units at you with no real strategy, and then when they run out of resources, the game just kind of ends.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they would go back and rework the AI into something a little bit more challenging. Because it's basically set up a line of anti-tank guns and defenses and just wait them out, and then you take all the points.
Yeah.
But it's fun nonetheless.
That's really what I like so much about Company of Heroes 2 is that the AI is genuinely fun to play against with friends, which is what because I mean even in Company of Heroes 1 that was really good too. The AI was pretty fun, but it did have weird quirks like spamming hundreds of AT guns or Stow 42s if they were German AI and they picked that commander and all they would produce was kind of
right.
Oh, Cessna's asking about Steel Division 44. Have you played? You have that one?
I have it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think my problem with it is that it requires too much micromanagement with really shitty pathfinding.
Yeah,
that's my problem with it. Like, okay, the pathfinding in Men of War Assault Squad 2 for infantry is horrible, but it's one of those things that you sort of learn to play around. Rather than deal, like you learn how to move your units in such a way so that it's not that big of an issue. After a while, it's a steep learning curve, but once you get over that, it's pretty simple. And the vehicle pathfinding in Men of War Assault Squad is amazing. It's very well done. I think Company of Heroes is actually kind of flipped. It's like the infantry pathfinding in Company of Heroes is really, really well done, and the vehicle pathfinding is fucking terrible.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I have this Jagdtiger that I saved all fucking game to get, and it's like, oh, I need you to retreat, and it just sits there and rotates itself around in front of anti-tank guns, and it's like, no, god damn it. Ah.
Oh, Ben was mentioning German intelligence in World War II. Actually, let me dig that. I'll put this in the chat.
But Steel Division 44 is all right. It's not a bad game. I don't want to give the impression that I absolutely hate it. It's just I liked the way that Men of War Assault Squad went about it. I do like the realism when it comes to the way units behave in Steel Division. And how like bringing superior firepower to a table is a real thing. Mm-hmm. It's not just you bring superior firepower to destroy the enemy. You bring superior firepower to get him to fall back.
Yeah.
Or to force him to do something that you want him to do. That's something that just doesn't exist, I think, in Company of Heroes or to Men of War Assault Squad to anywhere near the same extent. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have units panicking because they're under machine gun fire, generally speaking. Or they're under artillery fire. Actually, artillery is probably a better example, because machine gun, I know in what's it called, Company of Heroes, the units will get pinned down, but they just sit there and take damage. They don't try and get out of there.
Yeah.
In Men of War Assault Squad, your guys will run straight into a machine gun, like, if you order them to. Like, and they'll run in a perfect line as well. They will bunch up as best they can to make as good of a target as possible. But like I said, that's something you just learn to play around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ben, I tried to send you the link to a free article related to German intel in World War II, except that I can't actually post links on YouTube.
Shit. One sec. I may have to, like, whitelist you.
Oh, maybe?
Yeah. One sec.
Alright.
What's the... filters... YouTube, what's your, what's your user on YouTube? System Pike.
Should be that, I think, yeah.
Post images. Okay, on YouTube you should be able to do that, and what's your Twitch?
ADM Firmus Piet, all... Okay, let me try resending this.
See if let me know if it works.
No, yeah, it's still deleted it. It doesn't like the web addresses.
Was it the bot deleting it?
Yeah, I assume? Unless it's just you're not allowed to. I've never done YouTube Live, so...
Well, I have a bot that manages YouTube for me. And so it... let's see. Allow... Okay. Spam protection... links enable.
Alright, let me try it again and see if it'll...
Yeah, it should work now, I think.
No, it's still saying it's... You know what I'll do is, instead of being a dumb person, I will just break up the URL, maybe in spaces, and see if YouTube still picks up on it.
I'm not sure if they,
Oh, looks like it still. Oh well.
Yeah, it's... I don't know why it's being so dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand, because you don't want people posting sketchy links.
I've had people try and post porn in my chat.
Yeah.
Like, that was bad. Okay.
Ready to roll?
Yeah, so let me switch over. I'll adjust my lighting. Is it worth grinding for IS-7, or should I just buy it since I only have 2 hours a day because of work? I don't know if you can buy it. Or, like, if you're going to buy it on... Oh, well, I guess if you're going to buy it off the marketplace. I don't know. It really depends on its battle rating, where it ends up. Because I don't have access to it. We won't... even the content creators won't know how good it is until everybody else gets it. And the thing is, you can really only afford to miss for this event, if you want to get the IS-7, you can only afford to miss 3 days. If you only have 2 hours a day, then yeah, like, I think you're probably better off buying it, man. I think you needed to play, I think someone did the math, you needed to, on average, play about 8 hours a day for 10 days. You could do it in 7, but, or 7 or 8 days, but 10 days is the length of the event, so you need to play a lot. Especially during World War II, my favorite is. Well, Ben, if you're a member of my my Discord, Justin, I can. Ben and Justin, if you're both members of my Discord, you can just send it on there. But I think I have to invite you, Justin.
Well, actually, let's see.
There you go.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Let me give you rolls real quick. There we go. IS-7 grind is easy. It's easy if you have a lot of time. The IS-7 grind isn't necessarily hard, it's just really time-consuming. And a lot of it depends on your personal luck. Like, if you're just playing games and you're just having crappy game after crappy game after crappy game, then yeah, it's not going to be fun. Okay, so let's see, what do we want to start with? What's your highest in
Japan? I'm currently grinding. I have the Cheatery, but I'm kind of been grinding the Cheeto late actually. At
okay.
1.7.
Okay. I mean, I don't have much in the way. I think I'm up to like late tier 3 in Japan aircraft. I almost never play my Japanese aircraft ever.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
Not because I don't like them or anything, and not because they're not fun to play, but I just end up playing so many other things these days.
Yeah.
Never got around to them. Most of the stuff that I have here is back from when I started playing War Thunder Air.
Okay. No, we can start out with some tanks if you want. I'm pretty much open to...
Okay.
Maybe do a couple low-tier games first, because I haven't played tanks in a while. So.
I'm thinking that too. Maybe do like 2.3s?
Yeah, sure.
I just realized that most of my vehicles in this tier are completely stock. Top tier lineup has Ho-Ro. I see you're a man of culture. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a Ho-Ro for derping T-64 BVs in the face. Terry Farm, thank you for the Prime subscription, man. Greatly appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know about the IS-7. The IS-7 is going to be one of two things. It's going to be hilariously under-tiered and hilariously good.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be kind of one of those things that you maybe play every now and then because it's a novelty.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Russian. It's kind of like the rare Russian Matilda with the 76mm cannon. it's not a bad vehicle per se, but just like it's a novelty tank. Most of these vehicles are novelty tanks. By the way, the T-34E, in my opinion, is totally not worth it. They actually sold that shit a long time ago.
I have it, actually.
The T-34E?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the rare event vehicles that they're doing right now.
Really?
Yeah. But if you already have it, and you happen to complete the event, you can trade it for one of the other rare vehicles. So you can trade it for a British armored car with a 6-pounder gun on it. Like a high-velocity gun. Or, even better, you can trade it for what we call the Pack Wagon. Which is, it's one of the German 8-wheeled half-tracks with a 75mm Pack 40 slapped on top of it. Thing is stupid fast, stupid maneuverable, and it's got a Pack 40.
Yeah.
So, and it's at a really, really low BR for what it is. It's like 3.0. So, it's just hilarious. Just runs rings around stuff.
Yeah.
When the hell do I have a camp?
Do you want to run the squad, or...?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're on friends list. Explosive type removed. This means hash will no longer have any HE effects. Hash will only have the effects if it pins the surface, so hash... touch it. Yeah, I saw that change. I don't think it's actually implemented on the live server yet, though. I believe it was only on the dev server. 25 for the next summer event. Well, the E25 in what you're thinking, in the version that you're thinking of from World of Tanks doesn't exist. So that was something that Wargaming made up. The E25, I believe, was like a German light tank idea to standardize a lot of their tank production. That was the entire point of the E-series. I believe stood for Entwicklung. It was basically just an attempt to streamline all of their tank building programs. So make the Tiger II more buildable or much easier to produce as the E75, the Panther as the E50. And there would have been very, very, very little changed between as far as armor protection or armament. I believe the E75 would have had a slightly longer turret. And maybe a 105mm gun, but we don't know. We don't, it's impossible to know for sure. They may have just stuck with the 88, which was more than capable of knocking out anything that they were going to face anyways. Except for maybe IS-3. Yeah, we'll probably go for the top spawn. Will we be able to trade for the T-34E even if we don't already own the T-34E? I don't think so. But I could be totally wrong on that, so don't quote me. Alright, I haven't played this thing in a while.
This is my favorite tank. I love it.
Kind of like the Japanese Panzer IIIs.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, actually, of... except, of course, several years late, because Japan.
Right.
It's like, hey, this would be a great tank in maybe early 1941, and then it's like enters production in 43, and then it enters service 44.
Yikes. What happens if you already own all the other tanks you can trade it for? I imagine at that point you probably sell it. I mean, you can always sell the coupons, unless you're in Belgium or the Netherlands. They shut down the store to abide by Belgian and Dutch laws about like marketplaces and loot boxes and so on. What's this guy going on about? Okay, we should probably wait for a second for the artillery to come in. Oh, God. That was very close to me. Normally I wouldn't be too worried about it. But this is a Chihei, so I'm not taking any chances. I don't think I even have the parts for this thing.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Like I said, I barely play my Japanese.
Okay. The 47 is really nice in this VR. It's pretty much left-click to victory. So.
Oh yeah, that's decent penetration for 47mm. Oh, I see something. It's a Valentine. We should probably get to cover.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what that was.
Let's keep firing that direction.
Oh, he is there.
Just keep moving. Force him to come out of cover to us.
Oh, there's something else.
We'll drive right into friendly guns. This thing should have pretty decent gun depression if I remember correctly as well.
Yeah, minus 15.
Holy shit, Nugget. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't just point straight down and shoot at its own hull. T-50.
Disposed of one Valentine.
Just took out the T-50. On our flank.
I think there's one more Valentine over here somewhere still. Oh,
T-28 behind him.
There's a... Is that Char B1? Yeah. No, it's some S35.
Ooh.
Oh, I just got hit.
Oh my goodness, this gun. Dispersion is not good. You found a friend over there.
Yeah, and pump 28. Yeah, that S35 is just sitting there. I don't think I can go through his turret though. There's turret's trolley.
Yeah. I'm trying to hit the cupola. I'm not having much luck.
Oh, did he die? Yeah, somebody killed him.
There's another S35. Oh, never mind, that was him.
Just gotta repair my...
I don't even have parts on this thing. So if my engine gets blown out, you're towing me to the next capture point. Yeah, I'm not happy with the way that Gaijin handled this this entire rare vehicle event. If they had done things the way they have been doing it with the past Operation Summer events, it would be just fine. I kind of understand why they made it harder. Because, well, it's an IS-7, and it's essentially a free Tier 5 vehicle. If you can manage to grind there, and a potentially very good one at that. But...
Got him.
Ooh.
Gotta love that HE filler. It's...
Jesus Christ. I need to send you the Epic Thunder Sound mod for aircraft.
Oh yeah?
It's absolutely amazing. You know, as long as the aircraft actually have engine sounds.
Yeah.
It's still in very, very early testing. Oh, and I just lost my, I just got the wub wub error. Good. Okay. Apologies, everybody. I'm gonna have to reboot my game after this. Alright, I just had to turn off the sound.
Alright.
For my War Thunder. Gonna have to reboot the game after this to keep it from web-wubbing. It's like some sort of error that you get if the sound drivers crash.
Oh.
I haven't gotten it in a very long time, but generally speaking, that's probably because I haven't been using the sound mod recently. I turned it back on a couple days ago.
Still a lot of them left. I just don't know where they're at.
They're all in the south.
Oh, somebody just shot at us. I saw a gun flash. Oh, I am too low.
Oh no, I'm on fire.
R.I.P.
Oh no. Eat this.
I can't see him.
Just fire in his general direction. There's the fact that I don't have any, Oh, got him!
Oh, there you got him.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, I was aiming too high, that's why. Okay. Wait, did I actually stop something? No, because my guys are slightly injured. Oh, you're toast, though. Literally.
My guys are slowly cooking to death.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to jump out, because, the more damage you take, the more points you get.
Oh, really?
Yep. So if you're in a heavy tank and you take a shitload of shots or something like that, and you survive, you still get points for it. And you can respawn.
Oh, what is this?
Alright, boys. Oro time.
Oh, I'm gonna get killed by this AA truck. Yeah.
What?
I need to bring some PG, actually. I keep forgetting.
My high explosive round just went right through a truck. It didn't do anything.
No.
Like, it didn't even register as a hit. Like, what the heck?
I haven't taken this out. Wait, is our team all dead?
Yes, most of them. Oh, and then the truck just killed me.
Alright, I'll just take it. I was contemplating a plane, but everybody's dead and you're dead, so...
I can respawn, so... I'll take a plane.
Are they camping us now? Oh, yeah.
They're spawn camping us, yeah. Yeah, I saw the time calculations for the IS-7. All I can say is thank God I'm a content creator.
Oh no.
There's another one.
Yeah, just millions of milk trucks.
All of the fucking milk trucks. Okay, I can't be wrong in thinking that the KI-44 is just a KI-43 with a massive-ass radial engine slapped on the front, correct?
It's a completely different airframe, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, developed concurrently with 43. Oh. What's this? Is this some...
Whoa.
Yeah, different design team and everything.
Wow.
Like there's a misconception that the butterfly combat flaps were created for the Key 43, but they were actually developed for 44 and then ported over to the 43.
That I did not know.
So... And honestly, the 44 is much better plane than the 43. Honestly.
How you doing, Napalm? Hooray! I got the parts. Progress has been made. Alright, I gotta reboot my game real quick, because,
Oh, right, yeah.
Wubs. Discord, are we? We're in a private call right now. Napalm. Now, if I'm if I'm correct, the KI-43 and KI-44 were under the Army's supervision, correct? Like all of those aircraft.
Yeah, Key is Army designation. It's short for Kitai, which is airframe.
Okay.
So it's literally airframe 43, airframe 44.
Okay.
Which is a really idiotic classification system. But I guess it's better than the system.
It's better than SUMS. It's better than the type.
I avoid the type system as much as I can. It's just awful.
Alright, let me... Okay. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really played my Chihei. I think, do I still have... Yeah, that was my very first game in the Chihei.
Oh, right, I'm squad leader now.
Yeah. Tried ships at all, finally got my Russian ship. Yeah, I've got the German Type 1924 destroyer. I've got the, I'm like making my way into Tier 3 with my Americans. I'm like early Tier 2 with my Americans, actually. I've been playing the Karl Galster a little bit more than the Cowl. Not because the Cowl is bad, but just because I think the German tech tree is actually a little bit better than the Allied ones. The fact that the German destroyers are actually quite decent. Type 1924 is amazing because it's basically a mini Karl Galster. I think we're gonna spawn east.
Alright. Put all HE rounds in here.
We definitely got an up tier.
Okay. Oh yeah.
God, I would not want to be in any of these tanks in this kind of weather.
Yeah.
You could probably cook or bake some cookies inside of these things.
I wouldn't want to be in a Chinu generally, because I believe they had problems with fume extraction.
Yikes.
So yeah.
Well, a lot of tanks back in the day had no such thing, so you were inhaling all that toxic fumes every time you fired. I know some vehicles had them. The Panther, believe it or not, had a fume extractor, but it was a compressed air system that would fire into the gun tube after you fired the gun. A lot of tanks use compressed air systems. The Emden can exchange broadsides, turtleback armor for the win. I mean, I'm working my way towards the Emden. It can take me a while though. The top end German ship right now is the SMS Emden. The World War II version, not the World War I version.
Oh, okay, the interwar one.
Yeah, well, upgraded to the 1944 standards. Retrofit. So it has like a lot of anti-aircraft and so on.
Yeah.
And then the Americans have the USS Trenton, the Omaha class.
Oh, okay. What's up there?
That's a Sturmgeschütz. What? Where? With under. Oh, we'll rip that Sturmgeschütz. That was an ammunition explosion.
Oh yeah. I try and get up this hill. Oh, that's some. And that did nothing.
Oh, that's an SE5. Poor little guy.
There we go. I got him.
That thing has 8 rounds of ammunition.
Really?
Yeah, I think it has like the lowest ammunition count of any tank in the game.
Oh wow. That's even worse than the or no, maybe it's not worse than the Japanese recoilless rifle.
That one has 10 rounds.
10 rounds?
Not much better, but it's still better.
Oh, somebody heard that. You get really used to this 15 degrees of gun depression, and then when you don't have it, it's really depressing.
Oh yeah, it's like, okay, what did the Japanese do right that nobody else did? I mean, granted, it's a very the gun is very well, it's mounted very low down in the turret, and the breech is not very large, so cannon breaches at the time needed to be these massive blocky things for anything bigger than a door knocker.
Yeah, I know on bigger stuff, I think they started going toward like 10 degrees, which is still pretty reasonable. So
at least on American tanks, the standard was 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Germans, I believe it was 8. Russians were like, what gun depression? Gun is never depressed in Soviet Union. He's always happy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
No problem.
Alright.
But to be fair, the Russians were designing most of their vehicles to fight on the Russian steppes, so you generally don't need much in the way of gun depression out there.
Yeah, I think that Japanese gun depression fetish came from, I mean, Japan was a mountainous...
Right. I mean...
Or is a mountainous country, I should say, not was.
Right. A lot of the Japanese late war designs are quite interesting as well. Oh, there's 250. Nope.
Are there a lot of them in B? I don't see anybody.
I just knocked out the cannon breach on the T-50 here.
Oh, that's good.
Come here, bitch. Hey, come here. Come here. I am not done with you. Okay, never mind. I got it.
I'm gonna try and push the...
Ah, 9! 9! Shit! Okay, we're good. American 50 cals will rip you a new one here if you're not careful.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and get to B, but this might be the death of me.
Gonna sound like a Tesla coil from CNC Red Alert. Because I've got Epic Thunder Sound Mod running. Woo! We got something.
There's some.
Mean. Ow. I may or may not have a problem. Help!
I just got rid of a T-50.
That was the one, thank you. That was the one that was killing the shit out of me. Fantastic. He hit my engine, but didn't set me on fire, and then he hit my cannon barrel. Thank God I have parts. There is no depression in Soviet Union. Exactly. Speaking of Soviet Union and Eastern Bloc countries, from my German class, we watched, on Saturday, the entire class met at one of our classmates' houses. He has like a private movie theater. Oh, where'd that guy? He has a private movie theater, and so we all met at his place, and we watched The Lives of Others. Which,
oh, okay. I haven't seen that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually very good. It's for those people who are not aware, it's a movie about an officer within the Stasi, the East German secret police, during the Cold War in 1984, and how he's spying on this artist, and how he slowly starts to envy this artist, and he starts to change his mind about his line of work, and how he goes from this like very efficient, like ruthless Stasi intelligence gathering expert to like this soft-hearted individual who can't bring himself to report this man because he's speaking the truth. Like basically the artist is trying to smuggle in a report to the West about the suicide rates of people in East Germany, because both the Soviet Union and the East German government stopped counting suicides, but they can give you statistics on pretty much anything else. So the entire movie revolves around him like gathering this information and wrestling with this idea of morality. It's a very good film. I really enjoyed it. One with the fingerprint and the typewriter? Yeah. That one. It's unfortunate, too, because The movie won an Oscar, but the main character, but the actor who played the main character died like 2 weeks before it got the Oscar.
I want to say there's somebody over there.
Oh, probably. Ow, 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 ow.
Please don't
Stop
have
it.
a bomb. Oh, they know we're here.
No, they definitely know we're here. Somebody's capturing C behind us. I'm gonna go check that out.
Leave me alone.
He must not have armor-piercing belts. Either that or he's
I don't even know what's strafing us. It might be rifle caliber.
Oh, he's driving. Yeah, he's driving a. We're flying in an I-16. Only got rifle caliber machine guns.
Yeah, we're immune to that.
At least we're immune to something.
No, I don't get to say that very often. Alright, what's down there?
Hey, stop clicking on me. Rude. Hey, it's Bonatech. How you doing, man? You walking down, let Stassi just get up and leave the office? Oh yeah, that's amazing. It was really quite an awesome film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it, but I just found it to be very interesting.
Oh, someone just shot me from behind.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea where exactly from behind, though. I messed up.
Oh, crap.
Oh.
Oh, I see him.
SC-76.
Oh, God. It's a ZIS-30. Well, rip me. Alright. Time to out-turn everything.
I'll come back to tank.
This guy on the other team is not happy.
Oh, yeah. Man, when you go from the Chihei to the Chihawk High, like, you notice that horsepower difference. Like, this thing barely moves.
Excited for Journeyman? Oh yeah, I am very much excited. I can't wait to go. It's the it's not the first time I've been outside the United States, but it's the first time I've ever been to Europe. I don't know if you've had a chance to go to Europe.
No, actually.
There's also a possibility that Bernard and I may meet up in Koblenz.
Oh, cool.
But you know how Bernard is, he doesn't want to commit to anything. Oh, that's the game.
2 kills, I'll take it.
He's like, yeah, I have you on the calendar, but I don't know whether I want to go.
Alright, do you want to go up, or do you want to stay down?
I mean, either way works for me. If you want to warm up in a couple more games down here, I'm perfectly content with that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do 1 or 2 more.
Okay.
I'm starting to get back in the tanks now.
Alright. Shoot, I should have gotten the tracks. Damn. That's fine. I can see why you like this vehicle. This thing is pretty fun.
No, yeah, it's pretty nice at 2.3.
I think I'm gonna replace my Ho-I with my Ho-Ni, though.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Ho-E. Ho-Ni is pretty decent.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Ho-Ni 3 is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 25mm is not too bad. Although it's
Yeah, it's alright.
not that much better though than the
47.
than the 47. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit disappointing. Although the long 75mm guns are just ridiculous.
Oh, that thing is phenomenal. Yeah.
Especially on the Chinu, it's just a machine gun.
Yeah.
It's like when you can penetrate Churchill Mark 7s with a 75mm at like 4.3 battle rating, you know you've got something special. Or 3.3 in the case of the NATO. The, well, what did you call it? The Tractor of Doom or something?
Oh, I can't even remember. But yeah, that thing is... It's hard to kill, too, because it's got the crew is spread out, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then the engine is mounted forward, so...
Quick question, do you think the Japanese could have won the Solomon Island campaign? I don't think I'm really that qualified to answer that one. What do you think, Justin?
I mean, I'm kind of critical of... I have to be careful of hindsight, because...
Right.
Initially, the Japanese intelligence badly underrated the scale of the American landing on Guadalcanal, which is why, at least initially, they were kind of like, "Oh,
Not
we'll
too
just go
worried
kick
about
this
it."
right off the island."
Right.
And, which kind of leads to the Ichiki detachment getting annihilated. But they really should have been able to figure out it was a lot more than that sooner.
What was that battle called? Battle of something river?
It was Alligator Creek, I think, was the, and then, but it's the, it's often called, oh my goodness, it's been a while since I've read on this, years actually.
It was the scene in Band of Brothers where they were holding like that little creek right there,
yes.
And just annihilated all those guys running across. Or not Band of Brothers, Pacific.
Battle of the, Tenaru.
Battle of Tenaru.
Yeah, but it actually took place on, Alligator Creek.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was Annihilation. Ready to go?
Yeah, well.
Anyway, it's possible, but I mean,
the Japanese would have had to have done a lot right. Do you think, in order to pull it off?
It's just logistical concerns too, because they were operating like way overstretched.
I see.
I mean, their main fleet base was all the way up a truck. I'm talking for the big stuff, and then their aircraft, even for the Japanese, they were operating at the very limits of their range, which was a major problem. And then they're trying to supply army units at that rate, and then they dump them on Guadalcanal. They can't feed them or arm them sufficiently.
Fantastic.
And then when they try to attack, they try to maneuver, but I mean, if you know anything about the terrain on Guadalcanal, it's so horrific that
it's ridiculously dense jungle.
Yeah, like
very, very few roads through it. If
there's basically, like, for example, the Japanese managed to get tanks, like a handful of tanks, onto the island, but there was literally only one direction they could come from, right up the coast, and then the Americans just sat on the other side of the river and shot them as they kind of came straight at the American line, because there was no way you're going to do any maneuver.
Right.
And then when the Japanese tried maneuver, well, they wandered through the jungle and
got lost.
I can't remember how many. I think it was either a division. It's been a long time, so my specifics are hazy. But it was a ridiculous amount of men, and that's the John Basilone. So on paper, it's like, oh my goodness, like a single battalion stopped a Japanese division or whatever. But in reality, it was like the division was
coming in bits and pieces.
Paper only. Yeah, it was like coming in at like some cases like a squad at a time. Absolutely no heavy artillery support or anything like that, because they abandoned it all trying to move through the jungle.
That's insane.
So, yeah. But if they were gonna win it, in all likelihood, they would have won it. Their navy,
right?
In that they cut off the American Marines on Guadalcanal. That was probably more likely than the army actually overrunning the Marines. I mean, they actually came, somewhat like close-ish, but only one time, and once that was done, they were never going to get enough forces on the island again to make any meaningful effort. It was a supply war, and
Cessna,
once the Navy lost the initiative...
Cessna in the YouTube chat, you don't need supplies when you have the love of the Emperor.
Yeah. The Japanese nicknamed it Starvation Island.
Right, I've heard that.
It was really I mean, it was miserable for the Americans on the island, and
right,
they lived like kings compared to the Japanese. So.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, I remember reading there was some horrifically high statistic of people in Japan just were so malnourished that there was a very large portion of the population that just simply could not be drafted or something along those lines.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me, actually. I've been reading a lot. I'm reading, it's been on my shelf for years, but it's one of, like, the big books that I just kind of hadn't gotten around to read. Oh, just... Gotta focus here.
I think the only book I've dove into and read from cover to cover was a really old book. I think it came out in the 90s or something like that, on the Rape of Nanking.
Oh, yeah, literally called The Rape of...
Yeah.
By Iris Chang, yeah.
Right. I don't remember too much about it. I think it was more I think it was less a focus on the operational stuff and more on the specific atrocities themselves.
Yeah.
So
for Guadalcanal, if you want to read one book on it, Richard Frank's Guadalcanal, that's the book. Other than like some minor revisions and some newer scholarship, it's still the standard.
I see.
Volume on Guadalcanal. And then I'm also reading Richard Frank's Downfall, which is the standard single volume work on the end of the war in the Pacific.
I see.
So he's one of those authors where when he writes a book, it becomes the book on a subject.
I see. So it's just like everyone's like, finish the damn book, finish the damn book.
Yeah, he's actually doing a 3-volume series on... 3-volume series on the Asia Pacific War generally, which I'm really looking forward to. But he's been working on that for years. I don't know when it's gonna rear its head.
So he's kind of like Glanz with regards to the Pacific War.
Yeah, he's only written, I think, 2 major books, and then I think he did some kind of small MacArthur biography, but it wasn't really like his 2 big books right now are Downfall and Guadalcanal.
I see.
There's another.
Unfortunately, I've been neck deep in research on British post-Cold War, early Cold War heavy tanks.
Okay.
For a video that I'm trying to finish up a series that a series of videos that I said I would finish like 6 months ago. Like, I think the last video in the series was like early January. And I apologize for people who are waiting for that, but it's coming. I just haven't been able to knuckle down and like really dig into it to the same degree. Part of that is because I paid quite a lot of money for the book that I bought. I think I paid like $95 or something for my book on the Conqueror. And there's no ebooks of it either, which I was very surprised. Written by a former British tank commander, and it's the development history and service life of the British Conqueror heavy tank, which was kind of their. It was kind of like Britain's. Basically, Britain got the shit scared out of them by the Russian post-war heavy tanks. Mainly IS-3, and over the next decade or so, they developed Conqueror as their answer. It was supposed to be kind of like the Firefly of the post-war British, or the early Cold War British tank platoons. So, with Firefly in World War II, you had 1 Firefly per 4 tanks. So you went around in platoon strength with 3 normal Shermans and a Firefly to knock out anything heavy. Oh my god.
What is it?
Stuart?
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, I'm working my way through that, gathering notes, and...
Okay.
There's actually a really nice... At the back of the book, he's actually got listed all of the Conquerors built and what happened to them.
Oh.
Because there's only like 200 or 300 built. And so, and a vast majority of them are like either scrapped, hard target, or unknown.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, I think there's like 4 or 5 Conquerors in museums these days, out of like 260, 270 built. They are not very, very common beasts these days. But ideally, what I want to do is I want to make like a pie chart of using the data that he's got there, showing what happened to all of the Conquerors. So I got to count up how many of them and then organize them into different categories. Because he's got them listed by number, not by what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's like over 250 vehicles. Oh.
Oh, what is that?
Manstein 555, I am doing quite well. Justin and I are having a grand old time.
Yep. Exposed to that store.
Yeah, I know some...
Oh, they got behind us.
Yeah, I know some... Overall, I know some basic stuff about Pacific War, like I know a lot of the major battles and so on. I just don't know a lot of the logistical details the same way that I do for the European theater or the Eastern Front.
That's pretty. It takes a lot of reading to. Like for example, like I actually started out as an ETO guy when I went into my undergrad, and then I wrote a paper. Or actually, I took a introductory course in the history of China, just to fill space, and then I was like, oh, this is really, really interesting. And then I eventually ended up doing like a paper on Midway, actually.
Okay.
And that kind of really got me, like, as I was like, wow, this is really, really interesting, and that's kind of where I started going down the
Pacific Theater,
Pacific War path. Yeah, and I haven't really looked back. So I actually I am pretty well read on the Eastern Front, because that used to be my
focus.
Yeah, my jam. Like I actually gave a friend of mine probably like $1,500 worth of books on the Eastern Front just to free up space on my shelf. Like all 5 volumes of Glance's Stalingrad books.
Jesus Christ.
All that, yeah. Because just so I could make up, I'm like, I'm gonna free up some space, but now I actually have more books than I started with, so.
Right. I mean,
at least now they're all PTO, but.
Just to know stuff when it comes to war history, so what are all you guys' opinions on Hitler's death, and do you think he killed himself, or do you think he escaped the U-boat? Just as true. Okay. I have a bit of a pet peeve about this thing. Here's the basic gist of it. Who cares? Like, I'm not saying this to, like, attack you or anything, Ben, but, regardless of what happened to Hitler, he had no effect on history after, by the end of the war. Like, and he had no effect on history after it, so what does it matter? The dude's dead either way now, at this point. Like, even if he somehow escaped, like Argentina or whatever, the guy had zero effect on the course of human history afterwards, so it doesn't matter. I mean, that's my view on it. I don't know what I don't know what you think about the entire thing, Justin.
Yeah, I'm mostly just indifferent. As far as I know, he shot himself in the bunker, and
that was the end of it.
That was the end of
it. It's one of those things that it's one of those pieces of history that I think people spend way too much time on.
Mm-hmm.
For, generally speaking, the wrong reasons.
We can go up to 4.7 if you want.
Okay.
I'll suck horribly, but I've got some boosters. I might as well try to for Cheeto.
You mean guaranteeing that you're going to do poorly?
Yeah.
Because that's the way it works here. As soon as you put on boosters, everything's going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah. Let me see what's going on.
I didn't realize I had so many modifications for my Cheeto. I think I'm just going to send this to Holiday. It was pretty bad anyways. Is it better?
Oh, there's the questions about Guadalcanal. Yeah, sorry, I haven't looked at the chat since I... Oh, yeah, so you're talking, yeah, on land, like, at least on paper, there's... And yeah, I mean, it's like... possible maybe on land, but in my view, I mean, the closest run that whole campaign was at sea.
Right.
You look at, for example, I mean, not only the night battles where the Japanese did quite well, but also the 2 carrier battles.
Like,
you know,
the Battle of
well, there's Santa Cruz and Eastern Solomons,
right?
Which are, for me, actually, are the 2 most interesting carrier battles because there was no like overwhelming intelligence advantage or numerical advantage on either side. It
was just kind of a straight carrier on carrier battle.
Yeah, it would really... So those 2 are most illustrative of kind of the relative quality to carrier forces, and really it was basically roughly equivalent. The 2 sides would close, beat each other to a pulp, and then withdraw.
Right.
Except the thing is that to win the Guadalcanal campaign, the Japanese needed to cut logistical support for the Marines on the island, meaning that they needed to win decisively and still be in possession of the battle, or in possession of the battle space after engagements. And all the Americans had to do was not lose badly. So the Americans were in a superior strategic position, and the Japanese just could not, outside of Savo Island at the very beginning, they were never able to have that kind of crushing, decisive victory that would allow them to actually, like, really hurt on the Americans.
Right.
So, because, like, in the both carrier engagements, it's like, for example, I think it's usually said, oh, the Americans barely won one, and then the Japanese barely won another one. But then when you look at it, it's like they both just, like, in both engagements, both sides just hammered on each other.
Just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and at the end of it, and I mean the whole campaign is kind of like that, particularly at sea and in the air. Are you ready?
Yeah. I was just looking at the chat here. Do you think the Japanese Tier 4 premium tank is worth for grinding?
Tier 4?
Yeah, the Ho-Ri prototype.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely not a bad choice. I would say probably if you can get your hands on it, the Heavy Tank number 6 is probably a little bit better of a deal. But the Ho-Ri prototype is by no means a bad tank. Are you enjoying the IS-7 grind? I'm not grinding for the IS-7. Guy Jiggles said that they're probably going to provide it for me. Or at least they generally provide this stuff for me. So, thank God for that. I don't like bragging about that, though. Just kind of a dick move. In my opinion. Alright. I think I'm gonna bring my... Oh well, we're up max at tiered anyway. Might as well bring the Cheeto Lake. I think the favorite thing I've seen about... The favorite screenshot I've ever seen of not this vehicle, but the original Cheeto, was somebody actually made a Cheeto skin, like a custom skin of just like nothing but Cheetos. I have to find that. It's great. Below the STA series.
I don't even think I have the engine for this yet, actually.
I do, but I don't have the parts. Or not the parts, the tracks. And the tracks make a big difference. Because otherwise your friction just isn't... the ground pressure just is wacky and off, and it doesn't turn as quickly. Tracks in a lot of ways are a lot more useful than the engine are. Interesting. The engine upgrades. Okay, so it's all A. I'm thinking... let's flank around A to the left.
To the left?
Yeah, so there's you see that ridge line that's going down the 8 line?
Yeah.
We'll go around there, on the opposite side towards the map border. Flank around through there and hopefully stop any advances. So you're facing French, Germans, and Russians. Also try to stay in the low ground because they can hit you from here.
Alright. I'll just follow you.
Now, if you see me explode, then, you know, play something good. Shit. Incoming!
Oh, I saw it.
Oh boy. Oh no, that was my engine.
There's a lot of them.
Run. Just keep going. Just don't worry
I
about
gotta
me.
try to get to the low ground here.
Just don't stop. I'm done ski. Oh no. Well, that next round is gonna get me. Ow!
Oh, it's a firing squad.
Did I mention that they can hit me from here? Ow! Ow. Ow. That's what was killing me.
Are you bouncing anything, or is it all going through?
I bounced a few things, but the vast majority of them were just punching right through. That M4A1 FL10 just tore me a new butthole. As those things should. Because that thing is just devastating. It's got basically a Panther's gun with a 5-second reload and a 12-round autoloader.
No.
And, yeah, you can imagine why it's that powerful.
Oh, I just bounced something.
Yeah, but again, like, this whole idea of the Nazis got away, I don't think really matters all that much. Because again, their effect on history was neutralized. And that's really all that mattered in the end. Yes, it would have been nice to see them be brought to justice, but at the end of the day, what's more important is that their threat to the world was neutralized, in my opinion. So.
This guy's really hauled down.
Yeah, they're dug in.
At least we have A.
Yeah, at least that brave M18 ran out there to grab A. Now they have to come to us, or lose.
Move up to this ridge line here. This might gun depression.
Gun depression. 10 degrees. Not bad. Not bad. We can work with this. It's not 15, but we'll work with this. There's only like 2 or 3 other vehicles in the game that can do 15 degrees of gun depression.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're way back. Wow. It's a really sniped map right here.
Yeah. It's much better when you're at high tier and you've got actual rangefinders, you know. That can allow you to get some good first round hits, but
yeah,
outside of that it's a little bit That was a good hit. Oh, crap. Of course I hit the freaking machine gun port on the Tiger. I always hit that stupid thing.
Oh, somebody hurt.
There we go.
Is that, Dragonpad 38 still alive?
That's a good question.
Yeah, looks like it. Oh no, it's...
There was a Yeti Panzer 38. I took his track off, but wasn't able to get much better on him.
I had no idea what I just killed, but it was the size of a house. Oh.
Oh
Lorraine
yeah.
155.
That's a Lorraine self-propelled artillery piece.
Okay.
It's oh god, where the hell did T-3045 shoot me from?
Uh-oh, someone around the back of us?
Uh-oh, he's in the town on our right flank.
Oh, along the road?
Yeah. I have... The only thing I can spawn is the A7M1. So... Time to go just dominate the skies and outturn everything. Yeah, he's down the road from you.
Yeah, he must be hiding out behind a house somewhere.
Yeah. But like I said, people spend way too much time on that period of history for the wrong reasons. There are far better things that I think we should study. Things that are far more worth it. Oh, I forgot this thing doesn't have any... It doesn't have any weapon sounds. It has an engine sound, but it doesn't have any gun sounds.
Oh. Oh, that 85 one.
Oh boy.
I'm sure it'll pop out the second I look away. That's usually what happens.
Here's that 5. Let's see if I can't spot him from the air.
Their team was way too passive. I guess,
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way German teams are. The Tigers were far better to sit back and snipe. The problem was that nobody rushed forward to try and take the cap.
Yeah, I just realized for once I'm on the team with the Hellcats. That's...
For once in your lifetime. That's another one down.
All Maymays for the Maymay gun.
Oh boy.
Caught you in the Squire video, Miles. Wink, wink.
Hey, Rogue Mustang, thank you for the 9-month Prime subscription, man. Caught you in that Squire video, Miles. Wink, wink. Yeah. Squire was like, hey, I need you to do a line for me. I was like, okay. I was pretty pleased with how that turned out. You don't watch Squire at all, do you, Justin? Or even know who he is?
Nope.
He's a well-known War Thunder YouTuber. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
He makes some great sketches. He's probably as British as you could probably get. Like, he talks exactly like what you would think a stereotypically arrogant British-sounding person would be like.
Yeah.
But he's a really nice guy, and he's just. I like to think of him sort of as potentially the next Monty Python. I think. He's just a great dude. And the funny thing is that he doesn't just talk like that in his videos. That's how he is all the time.
Oh. Oh, somebody died way behind our line.
Oh god.
Oh, that was... What?
Thanks, Mr. F4U. F4U and I were trying to strafe the same target.
Oh.
And, Yeah, he may or may not have hit my right wing and caused me to do a ground loop and crash. Luxembourg, that is on our borders, yeah. On his videos to be cringe? I can see why one would say that. I don't know. I think his videos are pretty great. It's nice to have a little bit of comic relief, especially at War Thunder or another nation's expense. So.
Yeah, that got me suspension. That's good.
Right. Going for that IS-7. I don't need to. Guy Jiggles is going to provide one for me. But again, I don't really like bragging about that because, well, I realize it's not fair. I was heavily considering just not requesting IS-7. It's like, if the normal person can't have it, then why should I? But, damn it, it's the IS-7. And I want it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm being a little selfish here, I want that thing. Plus, I imagine that you guys would probably like to see gameplay of it. So. And is the MX-40 any good, or should I just grind the Germans? The MX-40 is great. It has the most powerful AP-FSDS round in the game. That sucker will punch through... Oh god, I think about 560 millimeters of armor, sloped at 60 degrees at 2,000 meters? No, 510 millimeters of armor at 2,000 meters. And at point-blank range, it'll penetrate 560. It's a ridiculous tank.
Ready?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm used to being a squad leader.
That's alright. Oh, National Line again.
It feels like we just played this map. Deja vu?
At least this is a better setup. I don't like the single point.
They can be okay, but I prefer battle, where there's like one base at one end, one base at the other end, and if you cap the enemy base, it ends the game. Because then you're not sitting there. Yeah. Because then you're not sitting there at the end of the game. It's like, well, we cap the enemy base, game's over at that point.
Spawn point 1?
Yeah. Actually, no, spawn point 2.
I'm already at 1.
Okay, that's fine.
With all the Hellcats.
Oh. All of them.
All of them. The entire production run.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. Jesus Christ. Use your blinkers. That's what they're there for. Fun fact, Leopard 2 actually has rearview mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
That's always nice. Any info on the IS-7 gun? Yeah, it's a 130mm gun developed specifically for the IS-7. And it fires an APHE round. That's about all I know. Fires armor-piercing, high explosive, and high explosive. It does have... it also has a coaxial 14.5mm KPVT. Actually set above the gun, not normally set in a coax. And then there's like a massive, like, there's a massive pedestal rising up above the turret about, I don't know, like a good meter above the turret with a KPVT on it, so everybody can see you coming from a mile away from behind a hill. It's like deploying a gigantic radio mast on the top of your turret, but it's a 14.5mm machine gun.
I'm gonna inch my way toward B. I'm not gonna go straight.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna make our way towards B and then kind of shoot into the flanks of everybody guarding A.
Yeah.
If we don't get outflanked from Charlie first. Question, is the BTD-1 destroyer worth buying? Yeah, I'd say so. Although I wouldn't say that... I wouldn't say that I am the greatest person to ask as to whether or not a premium aircraft it could be worth it. I think it's great for tank battles, for just dropping stuff, for just dropping bombs on tanks or dropping torpedoes on warships and naval battles, but outside of that, I don't think it has much of a purpose.
I feel really exposed up here.
I'm actually using a custom Japanese tank site that I can send you.
Let's see. Oh, you see what I just... Oh, that's a Tiger. Okay.
We're facing... Oh, we're facing pretty much the exact same team composition as last time.
Yeah. There's a Tiger in front of that Nevermore
Okay.
M18. Reverse slope.
Oh, on that ridge line?
Unless he drove off.
Oh, I think you got him.
I just died.
Alright.
Oh, there's something else moving right to left.
I'm gonna try and push B.
Alright, yeah, I'll follow you.
I'm gonna try to stay in the low ground. That really makes sense. Essentially, scrapbook. You need to get 16 tasks completed. You can complete 4 tasks per day. And in order to complete the tasks, you need to either get, I think it's like 4 or 5 supporting fires, or you need to complete like 4 games with a 2,000 point score or higher to complete a task. And you need to get 16 of those tasks if you want to, and then if you want to get, once you've completed those tasks, you'll get you will get the hull of the IS-7. But in order to get the turret, you have to play games at tier 4 to 6, and it will come in a random loot drop whether or not you get the turrets to assemble the tank. Hang on a second, is that it? Oh god, left side. Got him.
Got rid of a Tiger. There's in the village on the right, there's a, I don't know what that is. IS-1?
I don't see him.
He's, sec, watch my, I'm gonna get my Hull MG on target. He's by that house.
Okay.
Left side of that house, he's just peeking around the corner. He's staring right at me. Yeah.
Got him.
Nice. Oh, it was an IS-1.
Yeah.
I'm not totally useless at identifying tanks.
Hooray! All that Eastern Front literature is paying off.
Yeah.
But yeah. You complete the 16 tasks, and you will get the hull, and then you play tiers 4 to 6, like just games, and
oh, there's a Panzer IV-H in there. I drove right at him and I didn't see him.
Fuck. I didn't see where he fired from.
He's right in that village.
Oh, I see him. Oh no, that was his engine.
Japanese tanks look good as the low tier grind is painful as the French. No. Your guns actually penetrate. Except for the 57mm, I guess, is kind of French-like.
Yeah. So, like some of the very, very early Japanese tanks, like the
Type 89.
Yeah, the Type 89 and the Hago and the Chiha are kind of they're not all that great, but But the French or the Japanese lower to mid tiers, like tier 2 and up, is pretty fun.
Yeah. I don't know what their post-war stuff is like Type 61 and all that.
It's okay.
Yep.
The Type 61 it's alright, but you're basically driving a much slower T-34 85 with really, really high penny post-war heat rounds. The STAs are pretty garbage until they're upgraded. The Type 60 SPRG with the recoilless rifles is pretty hilarious. These are just such a tiny tank with these monstrously powerful guns on them. Although you've only got 10 rounds, and the thing has so little horsepower that it can't reverse up a slope. Like, one time I was actually on this map, and I drove into like a small ditch, and an enemy tank came around the corner, and I tried to back up and turn around, but because I was on a forward slope, I couldn't back up to shoot him. And so he just like came around the corner and machine gunned me to death.
Do they have any planes up? I don't see any.
They've got a few things up. Hold up. Just dealing with an IS-1. I mean, I heard something flying around, but it might have been friendly.
Yeah. I'm on top cover right now.
You playing the Cheeto? Yeah, I'm playing the late. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't know where I am. What? Dang it! I fired her round. Perfectly unangled Tiger bounces off the mid-plate. God damn it. War Thunder, why you do this to me?
What is that? Oh, an Ostrin. So I'll be able to kill that if he doesn't kill me. Although he's actually hidden by... Compression! Nope. I forgot how much the A7M compresses.
All I heard was you hit the ground.
I actually was gonna make it out, but I ripped my left wing off with a tree.
Oh. I swear, man, those trees, they just jump up and hit you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it feels like almost whenever I need to pull out of a dive, there's always a tree just happening to sit there.
Yeah. Maybe I should go work for Air France, which is a really obscure civilian aviation joke.
I think I understand it?
Yeah, the guy that landed his Airbus in the forest.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who are going to Embry-Riddle
yeah?
in the U.S., so I know I get all of the civilian aviation jokes whenever I'm hanging out with them. I don't know if you watch Air Force Proud 95 or something.
Oh yeah, he's great.
It's like F-18. This is tower. We just had a bitch-ass J3 Cub fly over the tower. This is going to require hostile action. Stand by to modify your IFR.
Alright, I think we won this one.
Although somebody took a nasty shot at me.
Oh, there's something coming out of sea, it looks like. Unless they killed it. Oh, no, they killed it.
Oh god, there he is. Well, I don't know what he did, but he missed, and I didn't. He missed at a grand total of like 10 meters.
Oh. I've done that, so
I mean, I'm grateful, but I'm a little confused. Gallia Invicta. What is this? Total War Rome 2?
yeah.
Oh, hi there, Mr. Panzer IV, who's swinging his gun around looking at airplanes. Perhaps you should focus a little bit more on the ground fight. You know, just a suggestion. Well, he blew up big time. Holy crap. I only wish that the turrets would fly much farther.
Oh, when you get ammo?
Yeah. So, I play Steel Beasts from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like it's kind of like the DCS of tank sims.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ammo rack a vehicle in that, the turret goes flying several hundred feet into the air. Oh god.
Oh, A or something shooting at you.
And he took out my gunner, of course. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. Oh, thank you. I thought I was done for.
Are you okay? How messed up are you?
I'm pretty badly messed up.
Okay.
I've got 2 crewmen left. My gunner is probably bleeding from every orifice, and everybody else is dead except my driver. My driver is perfectly fine. Engine is completely destroyed.
There's more way in the back.
I'll put it this way: it's been a very bad day for everybody inside this vehicle.
Is anyone decorating the interior?
I think
their brain.
I think 3 of my crew members have contributed to the new artwork that is within the vehicle. Yeah, 3.
I had this like clever plan to angle my armor back and then reverse to you, and then I realized this thing doesn't move in reverse, so it took me so long that you'd repair it already.
I mean, there are definitely worse reverse speeds.
Oh, there's a plane coming in.
I mean, anything above 6 kph is respectable. There are just some vehicles where you kind of question why they even bothered putting in a reverse gear. Because you probably would be faster for the guys to just get out and push.
Yeah. What's left? Oh wow, just the plane.
How do you feel about change to the event? And how do you acquire the tanks? I am not a fan of it. That's the short answer. Although, at the end of the day, I can kind of understand why they made it so difficult for this one. So the IS-7 is kind of like getting an E-100. Like you certainly have a way better chance of getting the IS-7 here than if you got it during like a tournament event as like a prize or something like that. Because they only ever gave out 200 or so. I think it was a total of like 600. E100s. So only about 600 accounts have them. And if people... One nice thing, though, is that if the people who placed very, very close behind, but didn't quite get an E100, if any of the accounts that had an E100 were banned, they just took that E100 and moved it to the next guy. That was really nice of them.
For tanks?
Yeah, for tanks. Actually, if we want to play an aircraft game, that is okay.
All right. Any particular?
I mean, I've got a few Japanese airplanes.
I enjoy your vehicle reviews.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need to do
Your
Japan.
knowledge of the vehicles, real and in-game, keeps your commentary interesting. Keep it up.
Hey, I'm gonna die. Thank you for the $5, man, and thanks for the kind words, man. I really appreciate that. And it's like money. I love money. But I try. Thank you, gonna die, and hope you're enjoying the stream.
Do you have the Key 61 Otsu?
Do I? Question. I do, but
is it upgraded though?
no.
Oh, okay, yeah, I won't.
Actually, no. I've got all the performance upgrades. I just don't have the bomb upgrades.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, it's been years since I played this thing. Oh God, yeah, it's been years since I played this thing. I've got some of the emblems from one of the very first clans that I ever joined.
Oh, still on the plane?
Still on the plane. Ooh, cool camouflage on this thing now.
Yeah, I have the
First Shutai?
One do I have?
I've got the 68th Sentai
I
camouflage.
have 78 on here.
Yeah, the 78th looks really nice. I just like that aluminum white.
Yeah.
Oh, the camo on it isn't bad either. You can easily lose this thing in some trees if you didn't have any markers on. Alright. How much will it cost me to buy a... Oh, it's not bad, actually. I'll buy an expert crew. Will you be updating the tech tree video? Yes, I plan to. But I'm waiting on the Italian tanks to come out before I do so. And appreciate the 15 bits, Bacon. Apologies, I have it set so, like, anything under 50, it doesn't pop up, but I keep meaning to change that to 10. I would do that now. Rogue, if you redeem a squad up, then we can get you in. Firepower by Honeycut or Diesel Tiger? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Hamburger. Oh, you mean like which one to buy? Firepower. Buy Firepower. Firepower by Honeycut will last you a lot longer than Diesel Tiger. Oh, okay. So, wow, I don't think I've played on Iwo Jima in... Oh, God. I don't think I've been on this map in 2 years? 3. No, it's been 3 years since I've flown on this map.
This one's alright. It's not as bad as Halo U. That's like the worst Japan map.
Oh yeah, because you have to be flying a carrier fighter, don't you?
Yeah, you get very good at landing bizarre aircraft on carriers as Japan. Like I can do a P1Y1 on a carrier. I could do a Key 49 on a carrier. I can't do a Key 67 now. That thing's too heavy. Like just won't. I'm trying to think of what else I'd put on there. Usually any single engine land-based fighter, I don't have much trouble.
One of my other YouTuber friends, one of his video series that he used to do a lot would like taking the most obscure and dumb aircraft and land on carriers and land them. So he's landed like a PE-8, a B-29. He's landed like jet aircraft with no tail hooks. Like, you name it, he's probably landed it. He even he couldn't do that because he couldn't do this with this one aircraft. I think it was the TB3 because Gaijin wouldn't give it to him to land it. But one of the other YouTubers did have it, so he landed it for him. He landed one of the you know, the TB3 Russian pre-war 4-engine bombers.
Yeah.
Landed one of those.
Oh my goodness.
And pulled it off. What do you think will come?
HAK, that's another one I haven't landed on a carrier.
Oh yeah. What do you think will come first? Italian tanks or helicopters? Italian tanks. That's their next big thing. They're, as far as I'm aware, their next priorities are Italian tanks, naval forces, and then World War mode. What the fuck? Why are you playing ARB? Who are you? First of all, thanks for the $2, man. And second of all, Justin here likes his Japanese planes, so as he's a guest, you know, he flies a lot more planes than tanks, so.
Yeah, planes are mostly my jam. I do like tanks a fair bit.
Yeah, I see you down there, Rogue.
We got lots of Corsairs.
Within which country has the better tanks in the arsenal overall? You mean in the tech tree? It really depends on how you like to play. What I think might be the best tanks in the game may not work out for you. It's really on a person-by-person basis. I can simply say what they can do, and then that's up to you to decide, man. I mean, for me, I really like heavy tanks. I'm big into heavy tanks. I mean, but I don't mind, like, playing light tanks or lighter armored vehicles. It's just that heavy tanks are my jam. And some of the American heavies really, really appeal to my playstyle, because I like playing heavily armored defensive vehicles. The problem is that the War Thunder meta does not like heavily armored defensive-oriented vehicles, so. Yeah. God, I got through the American plane grind. Good God, if I have to versus the Japanese one more time with an allied team, I'll Sudoku myself.
Yeah, I was trying to ply out all things the Wildcat a few times today, and allied teams are just atrocious. Like, it was the first time my War Thunder playing experience, like, I was, where everyone took off from the airfield and then leveled out at 100 meters and never went above it.
Yep.
I was like, oh. Okay.
Guess I'll die now.
I was the only one, and since I was in a Wildcat, I was struggling to get to 2,000 meters.
Wildcat is a fun little airplane, man.
It is. It is, but when you've got, like, 3 BF-109s like
Yeah.
2,000 meters above you.
We're going for this B-36?
Yeah, tally.
Alright, I'm on your 6.
Uh-oh, I pulled really. Oh, that was one of the worst things I could have done.
I've got way more energy than he does.
Yeah. I've been flying zeros lately, and I've...
This thing's a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
I just realized that because of my sound mod, I don't have any gun sounds. Fantastic.
Okay, he's gone. There's still a couple of buffaloes high. I'm trying to drive them off the
Shit,
altitude.
I have stealth belts. Crap. I'm not used to these guns either. Oh boy. Oh man, he actually beat me there. A little help. Actually, never mind. I think I got him.
I'm gonna try and drive this buffalo off the
Oh boy.
altitude.
Oh, that's not good. Houston, we may have a problem.
Did you rip something?
More like I completely destroyed my tail's integrity and I no longer have control over it.
Oh.
Oh no. I can't pull up. I'm done skiing.
Oh.
Hey, I killed something before I died. So that's a
Oh,
plus.
there you go. Oh my goodness.
That's better than I normally do. Most of my aircraft experiences end up with me hitting the ground before I do anything. So F2 buffaloes are nasty.
Yeah, they're annoying actually.
Probably put on some tracer belts.
Yeah, Universal's probably the best belt, although they changed it at or something. And I know they dumped a bunch of like just regular tracer in it, so it's trash now.
Not as good as it used to be.
No.
I've heard some accounts that the Japanese pilots really didn't like the 50 caliber machine guns.
They had reliability problems. Oh,
What are you coming?
uh-oh. This thing's roll rate is less than satisfactory. Alright, a second, I'll finish that in a moment. I'm just gonna focus here first.
Hello there, Felipe. Also, I'm not sure if you're saying hello or if you're calling me a grandpa. Keeping an eye on the P-40. Just flying away.
Yeah, I'm trying to dispose of this buffalo. I'm starting to lose a lot of energy here. It's gotta be hurt. I've hit him once. That was pretty terrible, eh? It's always depressing when you get a crit and then you find out it's only the flap.
Or the landing gear.
Or the landing gear.
It's like, oh yes, I got. Oh. Shit.
The zero, I think, is about him.
You just jump out.
Who's left?
A672 got him, and the Widowmaker P-40 that was shooting at you got shot down by the Japanese Corsair.
Alright, so it's just Sunwalker to the left? I don't even know. I think he was a Buffalo, actually. Seen him in a while, though. Anyway, about the Army heavy machine guns. Yeah, they had reliability issues with jamming. Also, the high explosive rounds. At least in the Key 43, I'm not sure if it was like why they were like if they were mounted a certain way or something. But sometimes the HE shells would fuse the second they left the barrel and then explode over the in the engine cowling. And they kind of got around that by putting little 5mm plates under the barrels.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they.
I imagine that was great for the accuracy of the guns as well.
Well, and then I'm not sure if this was ever solved in later production because I like it seems like less complaints occurred later in the war, so I'm wondering if they kind of worked it out. Guns also didn't sync because they're Browning. Any Browning gun synchronizes like trash, so the Japanese mounted a lot of them in the cowling. So the rate of fire was not ideal.
Right, and that's something I noticed about the Japanese 50 cals. The rate of fire is very low for an aircraft mount.
Because they were Browning, they could lose upwards of 50% of the rate of fire when synchronized.
Oh, jeez.
And that was pretty much because of the Japanese. Actually, like as a fun fact, particularly the Army, a lot of Japanese aircraft weapons were Browning.
Browning derivative machine guns?
Yeah, M1921 specific.
Oh, okay.
And they were built under license.
Right.
Yeah, so they had the Army, the Ho-103 was chambered in 12.7mm Beretta.
Okay.
And then the...
right, I remember now.
Yeah, the Ho-5, the 20mm cannon was an upscaled M1921.
Huh, I did not know that.
Fired 20mm, and then the 30mm was the largest. I think that's still the largest.
The Ho-5.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the designation for it is off the top of my head, but it was a 30mm Browning, so it's the largest.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is a little excessive.
And then because Japan, the Army never shared pretty much any of their aircraft armaments, so the Navy also independently developed a copy of the M2 Browning and then chambered in a 13.2mm Hotchkiss.
Right.
Although according to the reference book I have, apparently it was still so similar that it could actually fire American 12.7.
That's hilarious.
If they needed to.
Let's see here. If the armor model of the Panzer IV would get refined, would it get more or less tanky due to the same details that make the TrackIR armor trolly sometimes? I don't think, first of all, that the armor on the Panzer IV really needs refining. I don't see what there is to refine on it, is my problem. Just taking a quick look at it. Like, I mean, the Panzer IV-H was never the most durable tank in the first place. In fact, these things had burn rates that were easily comparable to early war Shermans. Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs did not have good ammunition, safe ammunition stowage. So if they got hit and penetrated and it hit the ammunition, this thing would just brew up very quickly. Now granted, you had a lot of hatches in a Panzer IV and a Panzer III, so you could get out. Although, that all depends on if the ammunition exploded instantly or if it took a little bit. American ammo, one of the saving graces of American tanks was that the ammo tended to sizzle a little bit before it went off. So you had about 5 to 10 seconds or so before the ammo would go off. Panzer IVs with special treated steel? You mean the face hardened? As far as I'm aware, that was only ever done on early Panzer IVs. The late Panzer IVs, they dispensed with that. But if the face hardened armor was introduced, I think the early Panzer IVs and Panzer IIIs and so on would probably get a little bit better. Although it would be difficult to model, because they would have to essentially model like an increased thickness, effective thickness of plate all the way through the armor, rather than just having like a bit of the plate be stronger than the rest. So, like, if it was face hardened and it was 50 millimeters, maybe it would have an effectiveness of like 65 millimeters or something. That's just a pure guess on the effectiveness. It's not based on anything factual, so don't take my words for that. Don't quote me on that. But I don't think I think that if the Panzer IVs got refined, they would probably be a tiny bit more tanky, but I still wouldn't rely on the armor. The best way to survive in tanks is to not get hit in the first place. And that holds true for even today's modern main battle tanks. If we're going to add regenerative steering, they've got like a they added some. I think they're working on it. They're laying like the groundwork for it, but still waiting on it.
Do you have the A6M3, the base one?
Base A6M3.
Yeah, mod 32, the clipped wings.
I believe I do. Yes. Let me check and see what mods I have for it. I have most of the performance mods for it. I don't have wing repair or cover, but everything else I have, except for the new 20mm cannons.
Oh, alright. You want to give that a try?
Now let's go for it.
Alright. This is probably tier for tier the best Zero.
Okay, okay.
Or BR, at the BR, but that's faint praise because the Zeros are kind of... I mean, when you've got like an E6M5 at the same BR as like a P51D.
I accidentally had my armor viewer on because I was looking at the Panzer IV, and I select the A6M3. Yeah. There is no armor protection on this vehicle. Okay.
Alright.
Alright. How much longer do I plan on streaming for? I don't know. Until I'm done with it, or whenever Justin feels like finishing up. Not like we have to rush or anything. Are you, is there like a certain time that you need to jump off, Justin?
Probably go for another 50 minutes at most, probably.
Another hour or so?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfectly fine. Is this the rare weeaboo plane footage? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I may have work tomorrow, but it's not until the afternoon, so.
I have work tomorrow, but I don't care. No, it'll only be 10 o'clock. That's and I have plenty of time to settle down and go to bed. So. Three is a curse than many other German tank. Panzer III best Panzer. Panzer III was a great early war design, but by the mid-war it was kind of pushing. It was kind of pushing it. And again, the Panzer III, like, if anything, the myth of the Shermans being death traps should probably be I think the Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs have much more credence to that myth than the Sherman does. It's really only the very early Shermans that we sent to like North Africa that had a lot of those potential safety issues. And even then, the rates of crew death from like the amount of people killed in U.S. armor divisions is staggeringly low. I believe from Operation Torch to the invasion of Italy, the U.S. Armored Corps lost exactly 80 men killed in action. 80. 8-0. if that, I mean, and this is
with earlier Shermans as well. Like,
oh, check your belts on the A6M3 because they finally fixed the cannons and they defaulted to.
I've got the tracer belts, which is all.
Oh, Universal's better.
Really?
Yeah, tracer the HE shells have less explosive in them than.
I see. Universal 7.7?
Yeah, I use Universal in both.
Okay.
Someone says the A6M3 Mod 22 actually has the best win rate of all Japanese planes, which surprises me because I actually really don't like it. I think it's a much worse plane than the A6M3 Mod 32, and it's at a higher BR, so that actually surprises me.
This is the Mod 32?
Yeah, which was much it's the much maligned version of the Zero, but I think it's wrongful. I mean, it had a range drop, but other than that, I mean, you had significantly better roll rate, rate of climb, speed, dive.
Right.
Like, the Mod 22 was just kind of like, let's stick the Sakai 21 on the A6M2 Model 21 airframe.
Right.
With slightly more ammo.
You know, the Japanese aircraft that I keep meaning to ask for, but I never get around to, is the A6M5 Co.
Oh, I have that one, actually.
And I don't have it, but I've heard amazing things about it.
My favorite Zero is the A6M5 Otsu, which is the one with armor and
okay.
The 13.2 millimeter, which actually you really feel that slight increase in firepower.
Okay. How does the performance suffer?
Because it's Gaijin, all the A6M5s, I believe, have the same flight model, as far as I know.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a little bit more sluggish, but at least on the stat cards lie, but it feels exactly the same as the A6M5. Well, there might be a difference, but... The one plane I desperately want is the Key 21 1A, but I didn't get it when it was being given away, and I don't know if it's ever gonna...
Oh, is that like one of the bombers?
Yeah, it's at 1.7 BR, and it's just a Key 21, except with like a million defensive guns everywhere. Oh,
yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I have that. I think I've maybe flown it 2 times.
I love the Key 21. So a Key 21 that I can actually like shoot defensive armament in all directions is something I want very badly. When they were giving it away, I didn't feel like War Thunder, so I didn't play at all.
Yeah. Well, you probably had to grind your butt off for it anyways, so...
I don't remember what the...
I think the other one was the KI-94-2.
Yeah, that one... I didn't get that one, actually, because I couldn't play... I was too busy at the time.
I think I have mine. It's still completely stock. I don't think I've ever played it. Because, like... whenever these events come around, Gaijin give me all the vehicles, and so, like, make content on whichever ones you want, and I almost always, as I'm a tanker, I default to the tanks, and almost never fly out the aircraft, with a couple of exceptions, like the PV2T in the PV2D Harpoon. I absolutely adore that thing. Think of a Ventura, but with 850 cals in the nose and rockets and 1,000-pound bombs. And as if that wasn't enough, Daka, you can dispense with the bombs and rockets and put 2 more wing-mounted double 50 caliber gun pods.
Oh.
For 1250 cals. Because,
oh, by the way, with the Sakai 21, you can basically WEP all day.
Oh, that would have been nice to know.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't let you know. That's why I'm like 1,000 meters above you.
I was like, what am I doing wrong here? Also, I'm probably climbing at too steep of an angle.
Yeah, I climb at 20 degrees usually.
Okay.
Some Yak 9s and stuff up.
Unfortunately, again, because of the sounds, I have 0 gun sounds and I have 0 engine sounds.
I'm gonna start heading over toward them now.
Okay. I'll just kind of follow behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay off the weapon now.
No such thing as enough DACA? True.
I can't wait for them to add the very late war versions of the Zero, but I imagine that's gonna happen actually.
Like the...
A6M6,
okay.
A6M7, which is the fighter bomber version.
Really? Okay.
And the A6M8 is the crowning one. That's what they were fitting the same radial actually that's on the D4Y3.
Okay.
It's classed as a 1500 horsepower.
So kind of like a Super Zero?
Yeah, they were trying. They hoped that the increase in engine power would allow the Zero to at least kind of get it in the same league as the Hellcats. I mean, you also got a firepower increase on the late war ones. They
Right.
had two Type 3 heavy machine guns on the outboard of the cannons. And then you got armor, self-sealing fuel tanks, bullet-resistant windscreen, the whole
shebang.
Yeah.
Although-
Yak 9s are high.
Yeah, I'm chasing this Yak 3. I'm gaining on him.
Down. Yaks are always annoying to dodge because they roll so well. Oh, this guy's turning, which is nice for him.
Oh, that's right, I forgot this thing gets increased cannon.
Yeah, that's one of the big,
Big improvements.
yeah. 100 rounds per gun. Level 5.
Oh, I think I may have taken... Yeah, I took off his, No, I didn't get the kill? Oh, that's disappointing.
And also this, Sakai 21 had a 2-stage supercharger, so,
Oh.
altitude performance improved over the A6M2. There's a Law 5 coming down, but I don't think it's on you.
Alright, I got the P-39.
Gonna be buzzed by a Yak 3 who thinks he's being sneaky here.
Oh god! Okay, that was close. That was very close. Okay, I really don't appreciate this anti-aircraft gun just taking pot shots at me.
Yeah, there's a lot of AA on this map. This Yak 3 is pretty,
Yeah, with all the... I mean, the aircraft sounds when you have them are great. It's just that most of the time I seem to not have them.
Oh, this Yak 3 committed a cardinal sin. Yeah, you better dive away, buddy.
Did he attempt to turn for a moment?
Yep. And since I'm the clipped wings, I can actually keep up with them in the dive reasonably well. Not quite A6M5 good, but...
Mm-hmm. Not quite heavy enough.
I really don't like the Type Mark 1 Type 99.
And that is what?
The really short 20 mils.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that what's in this thing?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't get the Mark 2s until the E6M3 Mod 22 Co.
I see.
You can see the barrels sticking out of the wings.
Right, right. Yeah, I can't imagine the short builds helped a lot with muzzle velocity.
No, yeah, it was a notoriously difficult 20mm cannon to
aim.
And it is in game too, because I am not hitting this Yak.
There you go. I'm just
Alright, I got a
strafing AA.
Wow, we mopped them up. Welcome to Japanese teams.
Yeah. I mean, I never had anything against Japanese aircraft, it's just I don't play aircraft very often, and I play Japanese aircraft even less.
Yeah, it's not a super... like, I notice, like, queue times are noticeably... Like, they're almost instant for, like, if I play US or something, but I have to wait a while, usually, for Japan. The population is lower.
I tell people, it's like, don't be in a hurry to play War Thunder. It's one of those things you kind of have to devote an entire afternoon to, I think. It's not really a matter of you jump in for a quick game of War Thunder.
Yeah.
You can do that with World of Warships. You can't do that with War Thunder.
Oh, 2 kills, I'll take it. Considering, like, I pretty much only started flying the Zero and RB, like, a week and a half ago. So, and I really like it, actually. Particularly this one. This is... I'm not a huge fan of the A6M2. It's... The roll rate... I'm a big fan of roll rate.
Okay.
I feel it's a really underrated metric.
I'm just strafing AAA. Does none of the airplanes want to go play with me?
I'm just RTB on ammo. That's... Even though you've got 100 rounds per gun, you still go through it pretty fast.
Yeah. With the 120 or with the 60 rounds per gun, it's just not enough.
Oh yeah, the A6M2 can be really... Like, at least with the... When you've got 100 rounds per gun, you can start to do some cheap deflection shooting and stuff, but with 120 rounds, you have to be really sure.
You have to be a really good shot. Make the most out of your ammo. I'm pretty much dry. I'm gonna save the rest of my meager ammo and land.
Yeah, see, Cessna says, yeah, roll rate makes or breaks defensive flying. Yeah, like, when I find... particularly when I get fast in the A6M2, I can run into a lot of trouble when, particularly something like a yak or something is coming for me. I'll try to evade, but then my roll is nowhere near his, so he'll roll over me and just wreck me.
Right.
Because, like, yeah, once I get into the turn, I can turn him all day, but...
Why play tanks over planes? Well... It's not that I don't like aircraft. I know people get that impression with me. It's not that I don't like aircraft. The problem is that because I'm a flight sim snob, and I grew up playing a lot of flight simulators, playing War Thunder with a mouse and with a mouse and keyboard just doesn't feel quite right to me. I mean, the feel of the aircraft are nice. It's very well done. But it's clear that this game was built for mouse and keyboard and not for a joystick. And if I really, really wanted to go play an aircraft game, I'd boot up IL-2 Sturmovik 1946 or IL-2 Sturmovik Battle of Stalingrad. Like, if I'm gonna go play aircraft, damn it, I'm gonna go play a good simulator.
I'm still waiting for a new IL-2 for the PTO. The second I can fly like a G4M or something around in a full sim, like a modern sim, that's what I'm doing all day long.
Where did Justin go? I need him to proofread my script. He's been flying that G4M for like the last 48 hours. He hasn't stopped. Send help.
Yes, just flying 45 minutes to the mission area, getting hit 3 times, bursting into flames.
Rogue, you're annoying, man. You have fun. Just, I'm talking with my guest and talking to the chat, so. Yeah, I'm seriously looking into buying the IL-2 Sturmovik tank crew flash at Prokhorovka.
Oh yeah.
They've got the early access out already, and my friend was driving around in a Tiger, and he's actually had to pull out the original Tiger 1 manuals to figure out how to drive the thing without destroying the transmission. And he's like, reportedly he can only get about 14 or 15 kilometers before he runs out of fuel. The thing just guzzles gasoline. Or, it's just...
Oh, what happened to the P2?
I don't know, he must have crashed or something.
Yeah.
What is this? Is it Ming Shao?
Jade out.
Where is this? Is this in, like, northern China?
Oh, this is,
Or is this Manchuria?
No, this is in China proper. I'm trying to remember if it's central China. You see? Oh, yeah, yeah, central China. Not,
The hell are the Soviets doing here?
The Soviets actually did send, volunteers, quote-unquote volunteers, to China.
I guess I shouldn't be totally surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna, in the article I'm writing, I'm gonna bring them up. It's actually quite interesting, because there's not a lot written on them, but their contribution was pretty significant. I mean, at certain phases of the war, actually, like, they were the main aerial resistance.
Sure.
And actually, as a random fact that'll turn up in my article, it's nothing new. I mean, you can read it in some of the reference books.
Sure.
But the SB2 so impressed the Japanese with some raids and things, and their Ki-27s and the like were unable to intercept them. So they ordered a plane that would be pretty much just like it, and except this was in I can't remember when the requirement out. I think it was 38 or something, or 37 or 38. So like that light bomber concept was kind of on its way out, and they procured this plane, and then it entered service in I think late 39. That was the Ki-48, which is rather infamous for being pretty much just a target for Allied aircraft, both in the air and on the ground.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah.
Oh, all right. I thought you hated planes. No, it's just that I don't hate aircraft. It's just that War Thunder is a good aircraft game. It's not a good flight simulator. And it shows. It's like I said, if I really want to go play airplanes, I'll pull out my flight stick. I'll pull out my TrackIR and I'll boot up IL-2 Sturmovik and go have fun. And I just don't like doing that with War Thunder, because War Thunder is an MMO. You're grinding for vehicles and so on, and it's an arcade game. Less so than many others, but it's still an arcade game. It's not a proper flight sim. So, and tanks are the same way. Like, I've got a couple of tank sims that I could play. The problem is that first of all, I don't really have a lot of people who play tank sims, because there aren't that many. Really, the gold standard is Steel Beasts, and that's modern tanks. That's not World War II. There have been some ones that were close, like Red Orchestra. Red Orchestra's tank combat is hilariously fun, because of multi-crew and so on. But that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for IL-2 Sturmovik tank crew, Clash of Prokhorovka. Apparently they're also planning on adding in the Ferdinand, which is going to be interesting. I'm half expecting that thing to burst into flames every time I press down on the gas pedal.
Do you have an A6M5 Otsu? Probably not. That's probably...
6.0s?
A6M5 Otsu 4.7. No. The base A6M5?
I don't have any of the A6M5s, I believe. No, I have the very first A6M5. But I don't think it's upgraded.
Oh, don't it? Yeah, I want to...
Yeah, it's completely stock. But I do have, if you want to fly that, I do have my A7M1 Repu.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I will...
Maybe I'll take that out. Take the A7M1 out.
Yeah, this thing is great.
Oh, yeah, it's really great. Actually, no, I'll go 0.
Oh yeah, and it's the Model 2 cannons as well.
Yeah.
Get high velocity.
Yeah, that you really notice the difference.
The muzzle velocity difference, yeah. And you get
it makes deflection shooting a lot easier.
I just love how the KI 100-2 has the 20mm cannons in the engine cowling.
Mm-hmm.
With like 500 rounds or something ridiculous.
I love the Key 100 that's a fun plane.
Yeah.
3.7. Ready?
But it's called simulator mode, duh. Simulator mode in War Thunder really isn't that good of a simulator mode. I'm sorry. But it's like, if I pull up on an airplane slightly and it just decides that it's going to go into an unrecoverable flat spin and it's not a P-39... it's just, no.
If you're going to fly a good Japanese fighter... Oh yeah, N1K1, that's a nice one. I don't like the J2Ms. I know they're good, like, objectively, but I think it's so ugly. And then it's not really, like...
It is a look that only a mother could love, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of derpy looking.
Yeah. One of the premium versions, I believe, has 30mm cannons. Yeah, the J2M5. But it's only got 84 rounds. What the hell?
Yeah.
No. Japan, why? I mean, it's kind of like the KI-44 Atsu with the 40mm cannons.
Yeah.
You get 10 rounds per gun. It's like, okay.
Although calling it a cannon is almost an insult to cannons. It was like the one reference book I have on. It's like it's more accurately described as an automatic grenade launcher because its lineage is actually from the Type 89, the knee mortar, quote unquote knee mortar, or grenade discharger. But the
That's
Army
hilarious. Just like
one of the only effective weapons the 44 had against 29s. But velocity means you had to get right on top of them.
Yeah, and the gunners are not just going to let you shoot at them. Yeah. So,
in fact, because there's the famous suicide ramming, and right. I read a really interesting book where the author is it's actually kind of hard to determine how many of the rammings by T-44s were intentional and how many were Otsu pilots trying to get so close to the 29s they accidentally collided on their passes, which.
Yeah, I know the Germans had the Sonderkommando Elbe, which wasn't really a suicide squadron. It was an intentional ramming squadron that the pilot was supposed to survive from.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they removed pretty much all the ammunition. They beefed up the propellers, I think they were given 60 rounds of machine gun ammo to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Nothing. They might as well not have had any guns.
Yeah.
And they were sent up into swarms of Allied fighters to try and ram these bombers. And I believe they sent them up, and only 2 managed to ram a bomber. And actually destroy it. And the pilots of both of them survived miraculously. The rest of them were just cut to pieces by Allied fighters. Or had to return to base for engine trouble or whatever, or they ran out of fuel or something.
Mm. No, I've been reading up a bit on the Japanese efforts to deal with B-29s, and it was just so hopeless, particularly when they were at high altitude, because Japanese had nothing. So you're flying planes that are at twice their critical altitude, and every time they even tried to turn, they'd lose several hundred meters in altitude.
Yeah, it's just they practically just stall.
Yeah, it's just.
And then the P-51s are just happily derping around up there. It's like, oh, free kill. Holds down trigger for 2 seconds. Which is kind of the scary part about some of these late war Japanese aircraft, like the Ki-87 and so on. I know I think they only ever built one Ki-87, and I don't think it ever saw combat before the war ended.
Yeah, I was. They did some test flights and things.
It's interesting to note that the Japanese were doing quite a bit of work with jet aircraft, and probably could have used. Weren't they holding back all of their best, not pilots, but their best equipment for the mainland invasion
Yes, both aircraft and less so aircraft, but like mainly tanks.
Right.
Like all of their quote-unquote best tanks,
Right.
were all held back on the home islands, which is why like none of them saw combat.
Right. I mean, I know that Chi News saw combat in very, very limited amounts, but like the later like Cheeto vehicles, the Chi Nu 2, what's it called? The Chi Ri.
Yeah, that one. I think that one never entered mass production as far.
No,
as
it was a prototype as far as
yeah, because I think they opted for the Cheeto, which I think was the right call because that was
Probably.
a much more reasonable tank.
Right. The Chi Ri 2 was kind of a heavy tank, kind of a medium tank. It was too slow to be a medium tank, but not well armored enough to be a heavy tank. I mean, for early war, it would have been easily classified as a heavy, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming universal belts are also the way to go here.
Yeah, I think in the 13.2s, I've heard good things about ground targets, but I haven't played around with that too much.
I think I'm just gonna go with, oh, they're all APIs, so might as well.
And they apparently kill, I know they kill light tanks and stuff really well.
Oh shoot, I should have spawned with more fuel.
Oh yeah, I always forget to do that. I'm slowly making sure I'm adding 30 minutes.
I've got 23 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Oh well, I'll probably die before then, so I don't think I'm too worried. There's also the chitin missions. Yeah. Although I don't think those happen very often.
Yeah, they did some limited stuff. They were holding a lot of that back for the... I actually just read the chapter on the Tsugo operational plan. It's like horrifying. Like
Right.
hundreds of K-10s, like all sorts of suicide craft, both naval and air.
Right, I remember, I mean, I know that Bernard put out that video recently on how with the interview with Gian Greco about how the Japanese considered like an invasion a winning strategy. Like it's kind of mind-boggling to us in the West, but
yeah, it's quite an interesting mindset. And I mean, when you see their preparations, you can see like actual the commander of the say area army. No, second general army. This is. He knew that like he could probably actually push a first wave back into the ocean, but he wasn't confident about a second or third wave. They'd probably get ashore, but he wasn't. They were going to exact such a heavy toll, which was kind of one of the main objectives. Now back in Tokyo, the people making decisions like whether they would surrender or not, for example, they genuinely thought that they'd be able to shove the Americans back into the ocean.
Well, I mean, it's also interesting that. Reading some of the American heavy tank development of that period, they were ordering vehicles like T-29 and T-30 into production for the invasion of mainland Japan, when they were vehicles that were completely unsuited for the Japanese terrain. I mean, these were 65, close to 70-ton monsters. Mm-hmm. Like, I doubt there was a single bridge in Japan that could hold them. Like,
no, the terrain was atrocious for attack.
Like, that's why the Japanese armor even today is very specialized. They with a very big focus on being able to adjust their themselves to different terrain features. They've got hydrodynamic suspension, so they can tilt the tanks left, right, and raise them up and down, and so on. Yeah, and that is actually modeled in War Thunder. You can do that.
Yeah, I remember.
Which is really, really cool. But
Type 74 is quite possibly my favorite Cold War era tank, actually.
Okay.
Just something about it is really elegant looking.
It is a really nice looking tank. It's a little bit underpowered, I've found.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose on the Japanese home islands where you're fighting in mountainous terrain, that's not too big of a deal. It doesn't necessarily need to be a speed demon. considering the fact that whoever is invading you is going to have serious problems getting their armor anywhere close to, well, anywhere. But yeah, the Americans would have had a hell of a hard time moving through Japan. That's why whenever I see people like invading Japan in like Hearts of Iron and just easily taking it over, it's just it's so comical.
For almost 2 weeks, PLS
like I really recommend Richard Frank's book Downfall. Like he really gets in, and I mean it's basically like a summary. I mean if you want extreme detail, I'm sure like Hell to Pay is like 500 pages on just the planning.
Jesus Christ.
Like with Frank, like it's remarkable. Like he does a real breakdown on, because the Japanese in planning they were going wanted to annihilate 1/3 of the landing force before in the water using suicide attacks, and Richard Frank actually like really goes through and uses the most optimistic numbers possible, and it's like the numbers are just horrifying for losses like before they land.
This is optimistic?
Like, you know, it's just... And I mean, even like even American planners at the time, like the famous quote that it was not Operation Olympic was not the recipe for victory.
Johnny Gibby Boy, thank you for the $6, man. I apologize, we were just finishing up the thought there. I've been stuck as an initiate for almost 2 weeks. Please help a fellow scrub. Well, we'll talk. I'll talk to some of the other executive officers and talk to some of the other officers to see how active you've been. Because we generally don't accept people into the squadron until they've proven that they're active members, like they are active parts of the community and they're not just lurking. So, if you've been initiated for a while and nothing's happened and you've been playing with people, message Exel, and we'll talk about it. And you helped out. I'm on your 6. Watch out for that 50 caliber turret.
Yeah, I'm terrified of it.
Nice.
You really feel that 13 millimeter.
Oh yeah,
maybe,
definitely.
or maybe it's just a sound effect. Maybe it's really just morale. Like you feel like you're.
You're actually feeling like you're shooting a gun worth its weight.
Yeah.
I like the 7.7 Japanese sounds. It's just they fail to deliver.
Yeah. That's 51s.
Are you going to get IL-2 Flying Circus? Probably not, because one, I've got other places where I want to put my money right now, and two, because I already have Rise of Flight. And Rise of Flight is a fantastic game. I love Rise of Flight. Alright, come here, Mr. P-51.
He's gonna heads up us.
Oh, he's gonna go heads up with you.
I am not going to accept that, though.
Right, I set him on fire.
Nice.
That's a fuel fire. Yeah, he's not getting out of that one. Oh, Mr. F-82. Oh, P-51 just exploded.
He's going fast. Well, I guess that goes without saying for an F-82, but... You have to do something really wrong to be slow in an F-82.
That's true. Oh, crap. I mean, he's way too out of range.
Yeah, he's playing it smart for now.
Yep, he's playing it smart. P-51 going after our fellow FW-190.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And the F-82 is turning around.
Yeah, I'll draw him back in here.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of altitude.
I really don't want to go above 6,000 because performance starts
to seriously drop off. F-82 is gaining on us.
Yeah.
They're not crazily fast. Hey, P-47 just sunk one of our carriers?
Yeah, the carrier damage models are kind of warped. Like, the American ones are laughably resilient, and the Japanese ones really, well...
You, like, spit on them when they blow up?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, actually. Because it particularly for Peleliu, like comes in and just blows up both carriers.
So is every flyby sound from Merlin engine in this sound mod? Quite a few, yeah. Like, a lot of the Allied aircraft are just glorious. The problem is that the Japanese are like the one nation that we have almost no engine sounds for.
I've heard some recordings, but then they're not very high quality recordings.
Oh crap, I totally missed that.
Oh, me too, just barely. That was our chance to...
Can I catch a P-51D in this thing?
No.
Oh, here comes the F-82?
Yeah,
oh god.
He's got the pods on there.
Holy shit, that was close. Thank God for the roll rate.
Yep.
And he was coming in fast and hard.
Yeah, he's playing it smart. Oh, that was such a good opportunity on that 51.
Yeah. Nope, he's pulling up. He's going vertical.
Yeah. Honestly, not the best choice, actually.
No. I don't know what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to... Oh, set him on fire.
Yeah, he's toast.
Yeah, he's toasty.
Rocker Wolf's on the 82. Oh, if you force the 82 to turn, that's... Oh, but he's still...
Oh, he's coming back at us. Oh, no.
He switched to me! Oh. I wanted to get cheeky because I thought he was going to tunnel vision on you, but that almost cost me.
Alright, P-51 went down.
He's starting to get impatient. He's starting his turns.
Oh, yeah.
Early.
Oh, yeah, he's already started turning.
Which means I'm going to get a shot here if I don't screw it up.
Ooh.
Oh, got him.
Nice. Well done. An off.
I'm going to make sure he stays down.
Yep, let you finish him.
Yeah, he's toast.
Although that 190 really wants that kill.
That's alright, I'm spaded. I don't care.
Oh my god, I don't think he has any elevators left. Just flipping end
over
end.
He actually... Oh wow, he's spinning like... Okay, who's left? Two of them, and they're both down there. Okay. So the strengthened wing skin on this thing was in handy.
I love the fact that it's still got 200 cannon rounds left.
Yeah, the ammo on the A7M is nice. I actually really like the ammo on the A6M5, late A6M5s as well. 250 rounds is
more than enough. Original engine that still... There's a one in the A5 with an original engine that still flies? Doesn't surprise me. I've seen the only A6M2 left in the world that still flies on its original engine.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I saw a video on that actually.
Yeah, it's at Chino, in Chino, California here, which is about a 45-minute drive from where I live.
Oh, nice.
Oh crap! They took the. I don't think the game's gonna end in time. They may just pull this out. Yeah, no. They're gonna. I think they're gonna get the win. Yeah, they got the win. Wow, that just sucks. That's so dumb. Okay. Dude, that poor BTDLR is just trying to get his money's worth out of it. The BTD is great in naval battles because you can come in like low and you can just dive down, pop your air brakes to slow yourself down a little bit, come in right over the water and drop your torpedoes going at like 300 or 400 miles an hour.
Yeah. Like
right on top of a destroyer and just sink them instantly.
And I'm good for one more game, so...
Okay.
Do you want to do a plane or tank or?
Let's do another A7M1 game. That was fun.
All right.
Oh yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see the picture in the Twitch chat, Justin, but there's a picture there of the last A6M2 with its original engine.
It almost looks like a 3.
Here, I'll send you the Imgur link. I'm sure. There you go, it's in Discord.
Alright, just a second. Climbing here. Yeah, I think that's a 3, actually.
Oh,
or
very
a
well.
5.
Very well.
No, 3. 3, not 5. There's no, yeah, B6M3.
Here's a more full picture.
Yeah, I should be able to ID it. B6M3.
There you go.
Because you can tell this, because the Saitek 21 is larger
Right.
than the Saitek 12. So, just tell by the engine diameter. There is an A6 M2 Mod 21 still flying.
Yeah, but I think it's running off a replacement engine.
Yeah, maybe.
Because reportedly this is the only one still flying on its original engine. I think a couple of years ago it went on a tour in Japan, like for a bunch of Japanese air shows. And I think at that air show, because Southern California was like the hub of one of the big hubs of U.S. aircraft production during World War II, we have an absolute shit ton of original World War II aircraft here. I think a couple years ago at this air show, we had something like 14 P-51s.
Oh, wow.
And I think last year we had like 6 Corsairs out there. Just this last year I didn't get to go, but we had an A-10 Warthog out there. And then 2 years ago we had an F-22 Raptor demonstration team.
Oh, wow.
That was... The amount of things that airplane was doing should not have been possible. Was staggering. He slid the fucking plane backwards. Like, caused it to stall and slid backwards.
Yeah, that's
and then did a controlled, a perfectly controlled, rotational drop in altitude, kind of like a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they kicked on the afterburners right in everybody's faces, which was fun. Yeah, there's the photo, Dalek. Dalek is an IRL friend of mine, and we generally go to the air show together.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
We're just out shooting his goons today. Got a 44 Magnum. That was fun.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't kick anywhere near as much as I thought it would.
B-25s, those are kind of scary.
Yeah. I made sure this time to actually bring fuel.
I bring 30 minutes, but then I wept the entire time, so I actually probably have about 15 minutes worth of fuel.
It's fine. It's not like you're gonna run out anyway before you die. It's one of those moments where I really wish I had the 30 mils. They ever plant some 30 mils on the Zeros?
Not on the Zero as far as I know.
Oh, rip that KI-100.
Yeah. Torched.
Oh yes, that was a fuel fire.
Now, to my knowledge, the heaviest Zero armament is the A6M8, which would have... Or, no, technically not. The, crap, what variant was that? A6M6 or something. I don't know, something with that retained the, I think the Saitek 21, so the engine was smaller so they could fit, still fit 113 33.2 in the cowling.
Okay.
Which they couldn't do on the E6M8 because the new engine was too big.
I see.
So I guess the heaviest zero armament was 3 13.2 millimeters and then 2 20 millimeters. Oh, that P-38 is space.
P-38 can into space?
There's at least 2 of them really high. Oh, 3 of them really high.
Yikes. That's not good. I love how a B-782 just shot down a P-51.
That B-782 is a fun plane to fly. Oh.
I use it in tank battles.
Oh, wow. Ouch time.
Oh, well. That's a B-25 without a tail. I don't know if you've noticed as well, but because ever since the cannon buff came out, like, tail sections just can't seem to stay on aircraft anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's kind of funny, actually.
It's pretty comical how often it happens.
Oh dear, their whole team climbed. This is going to be painful.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You might want to get out of there.
Yeah, I'm juking him here. Oh, that D, really stupid. Although he's going to get away because he's got enough energy.
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, 47s are on me.
And the P-38 is diving on you as well.
Yeah. My luck's going to run out pretty quick here, I think.
Zoom climb for that P-51 is a bad idea. With that many airplanes about.
Yeah, I want to go offensive on somebody, but I just can't. There's too many diving on me. Oh, whoa, another one.
P-51 is diving.
Just fast running out of altitude here.
P-51 went down low. Now he's in my domain.
Yeah, 47's on you.
Okay. It's fine. Caused him to overshoot.
Starting to bleed him of altitude here, but...
K-100's going in.
Oh, no, I'm toast. Hit me in the engine.
Yeah, it gets it on fire. Oh, that's 850s. I really don't want anything to do with that.
That's what happens when an American team climbs.
We got one of them.
Alright.
Oh, that's the F4U Corsair. Oh, no. And here comes the B-38. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, that's not good. Oh, boy. That's another P-47. Oh, no. Holy shit, how am I still alive?
38's back on you.
Okay. Oh, shit, that's a drink. Ah, man. Well, considering my chances in that situation, I think I did okay.
Oh, we exhausted them of energy. You just don't get any points of War Thunder for that.
Yeah. If I had like one more person there, I probably could have beaten them.
Yeah.
Like, just somebody to keep the guys off my tail for a second so I could shoot somebody.
Yeah. I was defensive the entire game, didn't get to shoot once.
Oh well.
Alright. Yeah.
It was fun nonetheless.
Yeah. I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. Get all my stuff in order.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Justin, for taking the time out of your evening to jump in.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun.
Indeed. We should do this more often. So,
yeah, sure.
Thank you guys all for joining in on the stream tonight. I realized tonight was a little bit out of the ordinary, but I hope you guys enjoyed the banter and the historical discussions and so on, and I will see all of y'all maybe next weekend, maybe not. This next weekend for me is going to be pretty busy, everybody, because next weekend is going to be the last weekend I have before I move out of this apartment. Moving to a new one in a slightly different part of the area that I live in, and so that's going to be a whole process for the next 2 weekends. I don't know how much time I'll have to stream, but this next week will be the last week before I move, and probably be the last week for content before I move. I'll see what I can do about content, because this is also the last full week before I have my German exam, or my final German exam for the summer semester next week. So, yeah, next couple weeks are going to be crazy. And then there's one more week after I move, where I'm kind of packed throughout that entire week, despite being off of school. And then I head off to Germany. So, without further ado, this has been Many Miles Away, you guys. Thank you all for coming, and keep your tracks checked, keep your bindings in place, keep it around on the tube. And I'll see all of you guys in the next video or stream. Have a good night.